team. So this is the more advanced version of Roy the Rover to teach us about how we can use gears. If we take a quick look at this, we can see a lot of it looks familiar. We've got a caster, we've got a motor, but instead of being attached with a wedge wheel and a belt, it's now got gears. And it's easier to see the gears if we pop the tire off. And there you can see we've got a top gear, which is larger than the bottom gear. And that's going to create some opportunities for our robot. The same would be true if we put the small gear on the top and the top gear and the large gear on the bottom. So let's go about building this robot. So it's actually one of our easiest builds. So we can pop off the engine as the motor rather as a module. And then we can see beneath it we've got an axle with a full bush and a spur gear. If we pull the other tire off, that comes apart easily. On the bottom, we've got two long Technic bricks, and those are the easiest to see. I think they're 16 by 1. We'll just pop those off. And then our caster should look pretty familiar. Our caster is made of 3 pieces, a 2x4 Lego brick, a 2x2 Lego brick, and a circle flat. Now, the thing that gets tricky about this is the engines based on their size, need a single flat added to them to get everything to line up correctly. And there's our spur gear and our red axle. So these are all the parts we need to build our robot. And this robot goes together pretty quickly. So let's start by building our motor assembly. So we're going to take our motor, we're going to take a small axle, we're going to take our large spur gear, we're going to put those together just like that, and it's done. And we're going to save that. We'll put our flat on the bottom, and we're going to save that for later. And you'll see that the flat's put there for a reason, but if you move it around, it'll still work, and you might want to adjust it. So that's done. The next piece is let's go ahead and put our long Technic bricks on the bottom of our robot. This is going to keep everything really stable, and it's a really good platform for us to do other things down the road. The next step, let's build our caster. So we're going to go ahead and take a circle, the circle flat, put it on our 2x2 Lego brick, and then attach that to our 2x4 Lego brick. And we're going to put our caster on the front of our robot. And if you are curious, you can put it in other places if you want. It's just there for balance. The next step is to put together our bottom axle. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. Maybe one of the easiest ways is for you to go ahead and plug in the motor. And the reason I'm saying to go ahead and plug in the motor is so that you know where to put everything. So right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in centered is a good spot for that. And we can go ahead and put on a bush. It needs a bush for spacing. And then put on our gear. We have to leave a little room for the tire, and we can just slide that in to see where it fits. You can see right now it's not fitting in quite the way we might want, so if we just lift it a little bit, help it out, there we go. That's a nice fit. Then we can put, doesn't matter if you do the back tire first or the front tire first, as long as both tires go on, you're good to go. Sometimes you have to lift it and massage it a little to get everything to play together nicely, and that's okay. These kits, generally speaking, are brand new, which means you have to break those Legos in a little bit. So that looks pretty good. So we'll put our tire in, and we can use our old program, and or we could write a new program, but the robot will run. Alrighty. Seems like our wheels are a little bit too close together. Let's try that again. There we go. And the robot's off. Great building, guys.